So if you were watching the stream the other day, you would know that we put together this list for kind of doing a request for my buddy Peter, who hooks me up with a bunch of cards. Really great guy. Shout out to the boy Peter, who kind of frequents a lot of the card shops I go to, hooks me up with a lot of cards and things like that. And so for hooking me up with some cards, he kind of gave me a request. And he wanted me to use Emboar and Coalossal together in a deck and kind of make it function. And so we tried that on stream the other day, and we kind of put this list together. So if you're interested in that stream, it's available for channel members. But in this video, we're going to be kind of making it work. The way that this deck functions is that we use Precious Trolley in combination with TM Evolution in order to get into our pieces as quickly as possible. And then what we want to do is use the Infernal Fandango ability, where as often as we like during our turn, we can attach a basic fire energy card from our hand to one of our Pokemon. And that Pokemon is going to be Coalossal because of its Gatling Tar attack, where for one fighting energy, it does 40 damage, and then it does 80 more damage for every fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So we can power this up pretty quickly and get a lot of damage going. One of the ways that we're also going to do this is with the Heavy Baton being able to move all those fire energy over to our other setup Coalossals, so that way we're able to just loop them pretty consistently and just get attacks off, and then try to close out with like Ursaluna in the late game or something like that. We are playing 2 copies of Reversal Energy because these will count for fire and fighting kind of at the same time, and it works out really well as the fact that it just counts as 3 fire sometimes if we already have the fighting down. So then that's really good because it's a lot of extra damage that we're able to pump out to kind of climb over megas and things like that. We do run 1 Big Air Balloon. This is mostly because all of our Pokemon have such high retreat costs that we do need to move things out, and Air Balloon doesn't work, so we do have the Big Air Balloon to move our Emboar if it happens. And if our other one gets trapped, then like it just kind of is what it is. You have to remember that when you're playing with a deck like this, it is an uphill battle, but this is the best list that we were able to come up with. Some of the things that I would recommend if you are looking to cut stuff, you could probably cut 1 copy of Artazon in order to get like an extra boss if you wanted, or like an extra Iono or an extra Big Air Balloon. Since we are relying on Trolley, we don't really need the Artazon as much, but it does kind of come up and make a difference every so often. You could just run a second extra switch, or you could just run more fire or fighting energy if that's something that you'd want to do. You could even run like Jet Energy or something like that if you wanted. We are playing Cleffa as just a free retreater, as well as something to just draw us cards. We were trying Badoo, but it didn't really make much of a difference, since most of the time we just want to be getting into cards, and we want to be going Trolley first turn anyway. And then if we whiff that, we can go for +7, or honestly, where Cleffa's come up the most is in the later stages of the game. Just putting up a single prizer to get knocked out and just plussing ourselves up some cards is pretty good. Tatsugiri helps attract customers and gets us our supporters, so it's also pretty useful. Is something just in the early game to throw a TM Evo on and things like that. But yeah, that's just it for the list, guys. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll get into games in a second. I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way. It means a lot, so thank you guys so much for that. As for everybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget, if you're interested in becoming a channel member yourself, it'll be down in the description, so you'll be able to see the stream we did for this deck list, as well as these games here. And as always, shout out to the boy Peter. Everybody give a shout out to Peter in the comment section, and I'll see you guys all in game 1. Peace. Alright, we're in the game, and our opponent's going to be going first, which is really good for us because we want to make sure we're getting our Trolley Evo and an energy. We ended up with Trolley Evo. We do need an energy, though, to get the most value out of this. On the upside, if we whiff it, like if we whiff the energy, we do still have access to Rare Candy. We have the Pignite in hand. We will have access to Cleffa to draw 7, or like draw up to 7. Seeing Dreepy's not great because it's definitely our worst matchup. Just because of the spread damage, we don't really have, and between the spread damage and Duskull, we don't really have much we could do. But we'll just have to play it as it is. We do get Vessel. That's pretty nice. We'll grab, I think this is the play. And then let's double check. Our other Pignite is in there. Our Carkol's in there. We're looking pretty good prize-wise. I don't want to get rid of the... I think I am going to get rid of the Rare Candy here. And I don't love having to do that. But I don't think it's really, like, bad either. We're going to go Evolution. Do 1 and 1. This way we get to keep Counter Catcher live, because Rare Candy doesn't really do anything more for us. We already have our evolutions here. Jamming Tower comes down, that's fine. And this way too, if they don't KO our Cleffa here, which is possible, we'll get a really big draw 7. Latios comes out. At worst, we get Bidooed here, it looks like. One Dragapult and discard, along with the Tauros. So it looks like we are going to get Bidooed here. That's totally fine. Ichipollen comes out. We'll evolve here. We'll evolve here. I'm going to put the fighting energy down. I'm going to place TM Evo. I'm not worried about actually using it. I just want it out of my hand so I can draw. And we're kind of in a good spot here, depending on if we can get Emboar and some energy. Because we'll be able to set up another Carkol. We'll be able to go Lilies on the next turn, draw ourselves back to 8. Hilda comes in. If we draw into Fire Energy... It all depends if they choose to pop Duskull or not. Because I'll say the biggest problem right now is that I want to end up on boss the turn that they go Bidooed. Like, what I assume they'll do here is they'll take the KO onto Cleffa on the following turn. So I do need that boss though. I need Fire Energies and I need... Well, okay. The Reversal Energy boss works. So we'll go Grasping Draw. We don't get anything, but that's totally fine. As long as they don't have a play where they knock out my Carkol here, or my Coalossal here, we're in a pretty good spot. Because if they go Bidooed, KO Cleffa, we get to bring the Coalossal in for free. We don't need item cards. We'll be able to go Boss's Orders onto a Dragapult if they make one with the Reversal Energy down. And be able to swing for KO. If they don't put one down, which I didn't think they wouldn't, there's that prepped. If they end up on Rare Candy Dusk, they're going to bring this in. If they don't end on Rare Candy Dusk, I don't think they'll bring in the Dragapult. But we're kind of making a read here. They go Lilies, so our odds are pretty good. My guess would be they swing with Bidooed, take the KO here. Item lock us. Yep. Okay. So we bring in our Coalossal. We get a Tatsu, that doesn't really matter. 360. We evolve here. We can afford to place Fez. We flip the script. Alright. Good. We get Rare Candy. We have Ultra Ball. The only thing we're missing is we want to get... we really would have wanted our Heavy Baton down. But we can make up for that on the next turn with Arven. And we have the we have Emboar as well. So we don't actually need to use the Ultra Ball. We can go Arven for Heavy Baton. And then probably Earthen Vessel. We'll see if we can Fez ourselves into the Alright, we'll have to see. Because we can Fez for Counter Catcher too and just KO this and then just look to KO that after. That could also be our play. It depends on where they choose to do the spread damage. We definitely need to bump the jamming tower. So we have to find our Artazon. Fine spread, fine spread. It's going to be hard to knock this out. But definitely not impossible. Let's see. We're going to go Inferno. Just attach that. I'm going to go Nest Ball really quick. This isn't to get anything, it's just to search my deck. I do need to Super Rod. There's 2 Heavy Baton. There is Reversal. There is Earthen Vessel that does give me 2 fire, so that gets me a fire and a fighting if I don't draw into them. And I also have option to Counter Catcher. So we're not in a terrible position. I do need my Coalossal though this turn. So I think it's fine to put those back first before I Fez. We're going to flip the script. We end up on Boss Rolycoly. We didn't hit any of the energy we needed, and that's definitely rough. Kind of didn't hit anything we need, actually. What becomes the play then? I think we Arven here. Get ourselves... It doesn't matter. If we go Counter Catcher... We don't have the ability to swing on anything. Alright. So I think this is the play we have to make, actually. We're going to go Super Rod. Put all this back. We're going to go Earthen Vessel. Fighting in a fire. We'll go Ultra Ball. Get rid of this and the Switch. Find ourselves our Coalossal. Rare Candy to that just to keep it safe. We're gonna go here. Here, pass. Unfortunately, we have to drop this one. And the way we're gonna make up for it, if we hit reversal, if we hit reversal, we were in a good spot. We probably should have Fezzed first before super rotting. I think we missequenced that. They go boss's orders, pull up the other one. That's fine. Okay, and they just raw Phantom Dive. So that's going to give us points on... That's going to give us cards with Fez. They don't have anything else. And they do the spread there. That's actually pretty good for us. If we can KO this, we then just go boss onto Fez with Ursaluna. We get another Fire Energy. Alright, let's flip the script. We get 2 and a Lillies. I think we have to do it like this. We Nest Ball, burn the Lillies. Place Ursaluna down. Go Lillies for 6. Okay. That worked out really well. Because we didn't want to redraw any of these. We wanted to give ourselves the highest odds possible. Alright, we swing for 360. Take a knockout onto Dragapult. Their biggest mistake was not setting up another Dragapult. Because now we're on 3 prizes. So they can't pop both Dusk. And now we just find boss. If they take a knockout on anything... They had a second jamming. That kind of sucks. Alright, that became really bad. Because we already played our Switch. We have to find our way into some Fire Energy now. I don't know if we even can. That might have been really, really bad. Alright. If we can find ourselves into 3 Fire, we'll be okay. Oh, wait. That's actually okay. Because I'm down to just go Iono here, and we're just both not going to draw anything. And eventually I'll get into 3 Fire before they get into something. Okay, I mean, that works. That was my plan, too. I just wanted to get rid of more cards. There's the boss. This is rough, though. Because we're going to get item locked. We just... Maybe giving up the Switch was bad. I wasn't thinking about Counter Catcher. We made the right choice. I still think... Well... Manual attach... Yeah. Alright, cool. I was like, well, that actually works. We'll just go Emboar. I don't actually remember if there was another Fire Energy in our deck. They may have conceded a little too quickly, but they don't know how many Fire we're playing, so it makes sense that with the style of deck we're playing, they can assume we play a good amount. But, alright, cool. So that's going to be game number 1. Kind of got a little rocky at the end, but we were able to clutch up. They made some mistakes, we made some mistakes, so it all kind of works out in the end, and we'll jump into game 2 in a sec. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're in the game. Our opponent won the coin flip, but opted to go first, which is a little interesting. We do get Tepig, Energy, and our Trolley, as well as a Determination. That's actually really good. Ooh, we see Teal Mask on the other side. That's actually kind of nice for us, because we'll be able to use Emboar in the late game to kind of ping these off, as well as Ursaluna. Though, climbing over Venusaur might be a little tough. bug catching set gets them a second Venusaur. Is that 3 bug catching sets in a row? That's crazy. Alright, that gets them Toad and Meganium. Big fan of Toad, personally. Okay, that's really nice. Alright, so we go Trolley, grab this, one more of these, and I think I'm fine grabbing Cleffa for now. Because it's just going to function as a free retreater as I get knocked out, and I'm not worried about like bench sniping or anything like that. So I think that's totally fine. I'll go Tepig. Place the Fighting Energy. I don't love having to put Fighting Energy on it, but it's okay. It's kind of a necessity right now. I could risk drawing into a Fire Energy, but I don't really want to play that game. So we'll get our Carkol, get our Pig, and then we're going to be able to go Emboar, retreat this out, bring in our Carkol. Or we might not, depending on... How do we want to play this? It's fine to just go Fire Energy Fighting. If they knock out our Tepig, we go Reversal, and then we're in a good spot. If they don't, which they chose not to, I think it's actually fine to go Evolution. Make this go Lilies again. See if we can get ourselves into our fighting, which we do. We get a lot of stuff we don't really want, but stuff we can hold on to. I'm going to retreat this out, bring this in, and Ultra Ball. Use that, grab ourselves another Knight. And Grass Me Draw, which gives us another Fire, which will be enough to start taking KOs, and now our Emboar is replaceable. I was actually really hoping for a second Carkol, so that way I could just prep 2 Coalossals back to back, depending on like what happens here. But that doesn't really seem to work out. But that's okay. The nice part is that Ogerpon's pretty low HP, so we're going to be able to play a rather slow game here. Unless they just go all the way into Venusaur right here, which, I mean, is possible. But if they go all the way into Venusaur right here, that's actually not even that bad, because we'll have Reversal Fire in hand. Be able to climb over it unless it has a Hero's Cape. Using the Arven for Ultra Ball, and then we'll also be able to get the we'll be able to go Ultra Ball here, Heavy Baton. Alright, cool, we didn't even need that. So we'll go Arven for Heavy Baton Candy, just so that way that's prepped for later. I'm going to go Ultra Ball, get rid of 1 Boss, 1 Iono. Kind of fine with that. We'll make this go Heavy Baton, retreat, 120. Fandango, and then we need 10 more damage. I really don't like getting rid of the Switch. But I guess it's fine. And then I'll just go here. We'll take the knockout, +2. Alright, cool. We get another Heavy Baton and a Lilies. That works out really well for us. Now, we obviously wanted our Carkol. That would have been much better. As of right now, they don't have Meganium. So they can't attack us. Oh, never mind. They have the whole Meganium line. I'm an idiot. Off Dawn, I forgot. Alright, so they can attack us. We're going to be able to move our energy. We could... I'm fine doing this. They don't have much going on. I'm not really worried about this getting, like, bossed up or counter-catched or anything like that. We're going to go Cleffa here. And unless we top deck boss... Oh. Alright, well. I mean, that works. Reversal doesn't get me anywhere, but I can go and just place the reversal here. Go Determination. Gonna bump that. Gonna put this here. Gonna Super Rod. This back, and this back. Place this. And then place this here. And then how much are we doing? 80 for each, so let's see. 80, 160... 160 is 200, 280, 360. So we're short, so we're just going to go Grasping Draw, set ourselves up for the next turn. We need one more energy, I think. Because, yeah, we're hitting for 360. So we're just slightly short of Mega Venusaur. Iono comes out. That's not really a big deal. We didn't have anything that got us what we wanted anyway. And this means we won't get bossed. We could still get counter-catched, and that would really suck. But I think our odds are pretty good that's not going to happen. There's a Genesect. I doubt we're going to see a retreat, like, snipe with Genesect, to be honest. Yeah, we just see a knockout there. Alright, we bring this in. And now we need to find a fire energy. We do want to hold the Super Rod. Let's go Artazon really quick, not to actually use it, but just to check our deck. We actually don't have any fire energy left. Okay, that's a good thing that we checked that. That's pretty bad. That means we have to get Arven for Big Air Balloon and sack our Tatsugiri. So we're going to go Super Rod, just put the one fire back, just to give ourselves the best odds of potentially finding it. And now we have to hit Arven, which we are able to do. Oh, wait, that doesn't matter. Okay, wait a minute. That just became really bad. So I think... How do we want to play this? Alright. We swing. We didn't have access to the fire energy. Alright. This is okay. This will go. We KO with this, and then we just search boss. And even if they heal, that's fine. Alright. I mean, it's not actually that bad. I was being a little dramatic. If they wallies and heal it, it's also not that bad because we have access to reversal. Then it really comes down to... It comes more down to being able to retreat, or not retreat, but just find, like, one more fire fighting or whatever it is we're going to need. Yeah, there was the wallies, which we, you know, could have expected. We do have the option of going Counter Catcher as well, so we could just ignore this. Doesn't really get us anywhere, though. Alright. Do that. We'll bring Emboar up just because we have the Big Air Balloon. I'm fine placing this for now. We'll go flip the script. We do find our Coalossal and another Fire. Do we need it? Let's check. Because we don't need it, and I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't. Alright. I kind of want to hold on to the Fire, because if I can find Boss, I can just use Emboar. But Reversal Energy isn't going to be live. And we used both our Super Rods, so we actually need to just hold this energy for Ursaluna. Yeah, I think that becomes our play. And then we just play the TM Evo to just get out of our hand. Go Gatling. Because we need Boss, not Counter Catcher, because we're going to be at 1. Alright, there's the Boss. Upside, they can't really boss up Fez here. Sorry, had to burp. They can't really boss up Fez here. Which is good for us. They can't really ignore the Carkol either. Iono comes out, that does suck. We'll get 3 off the Fez. The problem is if they have Boss on next turn after this KO and they KO Fez, that's a real issue for us. I kind of wish we didn't KO. I feel like we had a better option though. I was gonna say I kind of wish we didn't KO that, so that way we'd have access to Counter Catcher instead. Because now like Boss onto this really hurts. There is a Fire Energy in our deck and a Reversal. So do we roll for Reversal for turn? Yeah. Alright. We +6 with Lilies. Perfect. Alright. So this actually worked out even better, but what we wanted to be able to do was go Fez here and get into what we have now, where we can go, like, fighting for turn into Infernal for turn. And this could have been Reversal Energy instead. But now we get to bring in Bloodmoon and close out the game. Alright. We played it fine. We played it fine. And there's our other Fire Energy we need. But it's okay. It's okay. We should have prize checked for that and looked anyway. But all right, that's going to be game number 2, and we'll head into the breakdown in a second. I really like actually playing with this deck, so I'm really happy that Peter made me kind of figure it out. It's definitely an uphill battle, but it's a lot of fun to be able to do. So, all right, we'll jump into the breakdown in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. All right, this one's going to be kind of a quick one, but going into the breakdown for Coalossal, this deck is a lot of fun, but if we're being honest, kind of a meme. It's kind of ridiculous, but we, did what we could to make it work, and I think it turned out the best that it could for the stipulations that we were under. There were some people in the Discord trying to make Coalossal work in a different way, where like we were using Flareon and things like that, but we wanted to stick to the kind of the main premise of using Emboar. But yeah, in terms of the rating, I'll give the power a 3 out of 5 because it can hit for unbelievable damage when things work. It's just getting things to work that can be a little bit of the challenge. Going into the consistency part, I'm also going to give this a 3 out of 5, mostly because of the fact that, like, this is what we built the deck for. We wanted to make this deck as consistent as we possibly could. So, like, going second, we're getting this playoff as much as possible, and just being able to, like, rock through as easy as possible. That's where this suffers, though, when we go into the matchups. I'm giving this a 1. Your matchups are horrible, and every battle is an uphill battle. You really lose to Dango because they're just you, but faster and better. You lose to Dragapult most of the time because they can just Dust Noir you and spread damage everywhere. I guess we could change Artazon for Battle Cage, I guess. But, like, I don't think that really matters. And then your matchup into Guardy's really bad. Like, all your matchups are horrible, but that doesn't mean you can't win. And when you do win, it's awesome. This deck is a lot of fun, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, just go in knowing you're playing a meme, and when you win, you get to taunt and laugh, and when you get to lose, you get to be like, oh, my deck sucked. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So the matchups are a 1. You're probably going to lose more than you'll win, but when you do win, it feels great. So overall, I'm going to give this deck like a 2, or that feels too generous. This deck is like a 1. I'd give it a 1.5. I'll give it a 1.5. We'll split the difference. But yeah, we'll give it a 1.5 and call it a day. But yeah, that's going to be the breakdown for this video. It's a ton of fun to mess around with. If you want a dumb deck for locals, give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Follow me on Twitter and hit me up there and let me know how it goes. My Twitter link will be down in the description. I'm plugging a Twitter I hardly use. But if you are on Twitter, you'll see my Toadscruel deck list that I used to win a cup the other weekend. So, you know, check that out. But, alright, that's just about it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.